And now we have Abdelwahab from Jordan.
Your Royal Highnesses, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for me to stand at the United Nations headquarters to speak about the impact of media and its role in the empowerment of women and girls in science and achieving sustainable development. At the beginning, I would like to thank Her Royal Highness Dr. Nisreen Hashemite, the Executive Director of Royal Academy of Science International Trust, and Her Excellency Dr. Helena Dali, the Minister of Social Dialogue, Consumer Affairs, Civil Liberties of Malta, for giving me this opportunity. I would like also to thank all the great women in this world, particularly those specialized in all fields of science, for their great contribution to the advancement of our lives and the development of our world. I'm here to present the Youth for Science vision. When I was preparing for my speech, I came across a speech that was given last year on 17 February by Her Excellency Mrs. Lakshmi Puri at the Youth Annual Assembly of the United Nations. All through the speech, Mrs. Puri was clearly saying, and I quote, "I call on the international community at large to provide support to and work with young people in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Youth must be at the center of achieving the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and transforming our world." Well, this is a wonderful ambition, and thank you for believing in the youth power. However, I would like to raise two important issues here. How many youth, boys and girls, university students, and even professionals around the world heard about the Sustainable Development Goals? I asked my classmates, my friends, my relatives, even my teachers about the Sustainable Development Goals and the 2030 Agenda, and no one heard of it. I also asked them, what do you know about the United Nations? All answers were only and only about the political role of the United Nations Security Council at the condemning of this or that matter. I'm one of the world's youth. I have never heard Sustainable Development Goals, including the 2030 Agenda. If I don't have my direct communication with Her Royal Highness, Princess Nisreen Hashemite, and Razid team, I will never know what it's about and what's the United Nations role in development, including education, health, and environment. As a follower of media, I also have never seen or heard mentioning anything about the international days celebrated by the United Nations. And if any mentioned, it would be very shallow and only headlines. Who is to be blamed here, the United Nations or the media? Let me share my vision about the media. Unfortunately, media is mainly concerned about politics, the Security Council, and its policies, and denies the United Nations' roles in serving humanity. In addition, media always portray science as dull and boring. Even in movies, media portray scientists in a shallow and a superficial way, as if they are from different planets. I wonder how many of you watch Discovery Channel and other science documentaries. Why only men presenting science? Why not women, scientists, engineers, or doctors? Media is an important part of our life now. It's playing an important role in every way of life. It connects us with the scenarios of the world and informs us many things like news and entertainment. In fact, media influence the way people look at the world and make them change their views, visions, or even in organizing their opinions. I cannot speak for the United Nations for what they should do or not to do. I'm only a youth, but if the youth must be at the center of sustainable development, as Mrs. Puri said, then I will share my view. In my opinion, the United Nations needs to widen its horizon of outreach beyond its walls and offices. The United Nations strategy for outreach should be at schools and universities. I believe that 17 goals of sustainable development will not be achieved by policymaking only. It needs the people to work in it, and if people do not have the knowledge, how they can develop their lives to transform the world for a better world. With regards to how women in science can inspire young boys and girls, how they can popularize science and its important role in our daily life, we should not blame the media only. Women themselves have the main role. If women want to take the lead, they can. Media is no longer television or radio. There is YouTube and other platforms of social and electronic media. Women should share their stories and achievements with the public through blogs, YouTube, Facebook, etc. Women's science should tell us about other women's science from past and present. Women's science should not wait for the media to come and reach them. They should have the passion for leadership and go to media. Women's science can also change the portrait of women in media, starting from children's stories like Cinderella or Snow White. Why the princess image has to be with a tiara and beautiful dress? Why not to be a princess who is a doctor and a scientist? We have a living example between us here. Her Royal Highness, Princess Nasreen. She is a doctor and a scientist. She is an employee and a hardworking person. She is a role model for girls and boys. In fact, she is a role model for so many people. Therefore, I call on the United Nations and their employees to intensify their efforts and work with media and urge attention to international days like this and give it great value. At the end, I call all women this globe to exert their efforts to achieve their role in science. We need leading women specialized in science to be our best ideal to achieve sustainable development in our society. You should rely on yourselves because you are no longer in need for a man or others. You should have the initiative to achieve your goals. We need to see an end to narrow or negative attitudes about women and girls and outdated stereotypes that maintain inequality and limit both women and men. Saint Laurent said, "The most beautiful makeup of a woman is passion, but cosmetics are easier to buy." And I would like to say to all girls and female youth, to all women, let your makeup be the passion for education, science and leadership, and we boys and men will follow. Happy International Day for Women and Girls Science, and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Abdelwahab. Thank you. You continue to enhance the richness of this conference with your perspective as a young man. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now.